What happens when one of the most legendary tactical RPGs finally gets the remake it deserves? That's what I'm here to find out with Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. I've just returned from a much needed vacation and it feels so good to be back with you all. Honestly, I couldn't have timed it better because while I was away, a wave of new quality releases hit, and on top of that pile was Final Fantasy Tactics. This is a game with a reputation that precedes it, and while I've never played the original, I went into this one ready to experience why it's held in such legendary regard. And, spoiler alert, I struggled to put the game down long enough to make this video. Hey friends, I'm Autumn, and this is Cozy Cartridges, a space for calm, nostalgic, and story-rich games that invite you to slow down and sink in. If that sounds like your vibe, grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. At its heart, Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles tells a sweeping story of war, betrayal, and political ambition set in the fractured kingdom of Ivalice. You follow Ramza Beov, a young noble born into privilege but increasingly disillusioned by the corruption and cruelty surrounding him. Torn between his family's expectations and his growing empathy for the common people, Ramza becomes a reluctant hero, not because he seeks glory, but because he can't ignore injustice, even when it comes from his own bloodline. What makes this story stand out, even among Final Fantasy's best, is how grounded and human it feels. This isn't the tale of a bright-eyed party banding together to defeat a clear-cut villain. It's a world of power struggles, blurred loyalties, and shifting morality, where even good intentions can lead to ruin. Every noble, mercenary, and priest you meet has their own agenda, and the lines between right and wrong blur fast. The remake deepens this drama with fully voiced cutscenes in both English and Japanese, giving each conversation cinematic weight. Ramza's quiet conviction, his sister Alma's gentleness, and the bitterness and voices of certain characters make the story hit harder than ever. But I'll leave the story part for you to discover on your own playthrough. Just know it's easy to see why fans call FFT one of the most mature and ambitious narratives in Final Fantasy's history. It's less about saving the world and more about living in one that's already broken and finding your place and purpose amidst the chaos. The remake brings the world of Ivalice to life with a painterly storybook aesthetic that feels both modern and timeless. The isometric dioramic maps keep their grid-based tactical charm while adding lush environmental details, from rolling hills to medieval towns to war-torn battlefields. Character portraits and cutscenes have been completely reworked too, adding expression and cinematic energy without losing that classic illustrated style. It feels like reading a historical drama where you're in charge of the page turns. The real star here, as with any great strategy RPG, is the gameplay. Now, the SRPG series I'm most familiar is, well, obviously, Fire Emblem. And I've got to say, Final Fantasy Tactics takes things to another level. Its systems are deeper, its mechanics more intricate, and I found myself completely absorbed just figuring out how everything fit together. Seriously, grinding has never been this satisfying. Battles unfold on isometric grids where every decision matters. Movement, positioning, terrain, even weather. Elevation gives you a tactical edge, back attacks hit harder, and a single misplaced step can spell disaster. Thankfully, this remake helps new players ease in with clear range indicators, spell zones, and percentage chances. No more guessing if that attack will actually land. But the real brilliance lies beyond the battlefield. The legendary job system returns in all its glory, letting you craft each unit into something uniquely yours. You'll start with the humble squires and chemists, then branch into advanced classes like dragoons, ninjas, and time mages. Since abilities carry over between jobs, the experimentation never stops. Maybe your white mage learns sword techniques, or your thief starts tossing potions from afar. Adjusting action, reaction, support, and movement skills become its own strategic puzzle. Early on, your party is made up of generic recruits from the guild. Their identical sprites and lack of backstory might feel impersonal at first. It did to me. But as you train them, tweak their stats, and send them into countless battles, they slowly become your team. Every character has unique bravery and faith levels that shape how they perform. Bravery boosts physical strength and accuracy, while faith enhances magical power. Learning to balance those traits adds yet another layer of depth to your tactical decisions. And as the story progresses, you'll start recruiting named characters with exclusive characters like the powerful Holy Knight, giving you even more ways to personalize your squad. It's not just about creating overpowered units, though let's be honest, that's pretty satisfying. It's about crafting a party that feels like an extension of your playstyle, your strategies, your quirks, your choices. It scratches the same cozy itch as tending a farm or building a town in a life sim, only here your crops are knights, mages, and yes, even monsters. One thing I really appreciate as a newcomer is how approachable the remake feels. Tutorials are clearer, the early missions gradually ramp you up, and the UI feels modernized without sacrificing depth. That said, the game doesn't hold your hand forever. Enemies will exploit mistakes, spellcasters can obliterate careless positioning in a second, and some battles require you to think several moves ahead. The challenge is real, but it never feels unfair. More like a chess match where you're learning the rules as you go. I mean, I died a few times, even on Squire mode. That's something I also appreciate. The game has 3 difficulty levels: Squire for story mode, Knight for a balanced experience, and Tactician for those who enjoy the challenge so that you can play however you best enjoy your SRPGs. Pacing feels great as well, as the maps are generally shorter than typical Fire Emblem fare, and there's really no unnecessary padding to gameplay or story. During your short, well, for a JRPG anyway, stint with the game, there's much to enjoy. The remastered soundtrack, for one, is simply stunning. From swelling orchestral themes before a major clash to melancholic strings during moments of betrayal, the score deepens every scene. Sound design also matters here. Little details like sword clashes, spell effects, and even quiet moments all make Ivalice feel alive. It's immersive in a way that really pulls you into the strategy, making each victory that much sweeter. The writing is also spectacular. Coupled with the voice acting, it is incredibly immersive. Heartbreaking at times, hilariously funny at others. I mean, who came up with some of these insults?
You, no less human than we? You've been less than we from the moment your base-born father fell upon your... You've been chattel since...
I am now on chapter 4 of the game, and I have got to say, Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles feels like a remake that just gets everything right. The story is ambitious and dramatic, the gameplay is layered and endlessly customizable, and the polish makes it welcoming for players like me who never experienced the original. It's easy to see why this game is so legendary, and I'm excited to finish up and dig deeper. So that's going to wrap up my first impressions for now. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Did you play the original Final Fantasy Tactics, and have you played the remake? If so, what do you think? Did it do the original game justice? Or, if you're like me and you're stepping into Ivalice for the first time, what are your impressions so far? Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for more weekly cozy content. Until next time, may your strategies be sharp, your jobs be versatile, and your victories oh so sweet.